back to the channel. So today's video is all about making very cheap and easy meals using only dollar store ingredients. This is part 2. I will link above part 1 in case you missed it. All these meals have been super cheap, and I think the most has been like just under $4, and I think that's amazing because it was many servings. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing today, and I hope you get some inspiration. You know, it's really good to know that you can just pop in anywhere and grab a few ingredients and create a meal, and it doesn't have to be the best meal because these meals are pretty darn simple, but you will have food in your belly and it will be very, very cheap. So I am going to say if you have extra veggies at home, please add them to these meals and bulk it up and add some extra veg into your diet. But again, if you don't have it, you don't have it. That's fine. At least you have a meal that is pretty healthy, and canned veggies are perfectly fine and you can find them at every dollar store. Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks again for being here, and we're going to make some quick and easy meals that are super cheap because it's dollar store ingredients. And this is a part 2 because I will link part 1 if you haven't watched it already. These are just some really quick recipes with very few ingredients that I found at the dollar store. So if you watched part 1, you saw that I made half of these spinach noodles. I cooked up the whole pack and I saved half. And this is why I saved half, because I was going to make another meal because it was such a big quantity that I knew that I could get more meals out of that big package of spinach noodles. So I just added the mushrooms with some broth that I already had at home and some seasonings, so paprika and garlic, and that's it. And then I just sauteed it on the pan, and then I'm going to add the noodles to it, and that's it. Just mix it thoroughly. You can add soy sauce if you want to. So when I made these meals, I'm keeping in mind that we are using our own seasonings at home and our soy sauce at home, or ketchup, whatever it is that you are using for your different meals. You've already got that at home, so you're not going to buy that at the dollar store unless you really need it and you've run out. These are just the ingredients that I purchased to make the meals, and then any of the add-ons I already had at home. So I really like these mushrooms. I think I'm definitely going to buy this more often just because it's a really quick thing to have in the cupboard, and if you need to make a quick meal, you could just open up your can of mushrooms and use it up, and I think that this would be really good with many different dishes. So I'm definitely a fan of these mushrooms in a can, and I really think it worked well with these noodles as well. So my dollar store had 2 types of mushrooms. They had the sliced mushrooms in a can and then the whole mushroom in a can. So I did buy both and I used them up to make these cheap meals. And I decided to use the whole mushroom in this dish because I just felt like it would work better. And honestly, this was a fantastic dish. This was so good. So if you can't find these spinach noodles at your dollar store, no big deal. Just get any pasta that you can find available there, and usually they have many different types to choose from, so I would just suggest using one of those, and I'm sure it will work out perfectly. And then I'm just mixing this really well, and that broth, you know, and the mushrooms, it just, like, it was so good. I really like the paprika as well. I think it worked really well with this dish. I suggest you adding whatever seasonings you prefer though, that way you can customize it to your taste. So that's it. That is it for this meal. Very easy, super quick to whip up, and I think it's a pretty nutritious meal. If you have extra veggies, I would suggest adding that in if you have extra on hand, or if your dollar store has other veggies available. I know some dollar stores have frozen veggies. That's awesome. I don't have that luxury. Everything is just canned and there's very little to choose from. I feel like if you were on a super low budget or you are a student, this is a great meal to make, and you will feel really full and satisfied for a very long time. I've also made this for meal prep for work, and it's perfectly fine the next day. I just heated it up and it was good to go. So for the next meal, I'm still using up that rice. That package of rice lasted me for so many meals. It was pretty amazing. A $2 pack of jasmine rice, and I stretched it out to so many meals. So I'm just going to do rice and peas because I have 1 can of peas that I still have left over, and I thought I'm just going to mix them together. And then it's optional, but you can add whatever sauce you already have at home, or if your dollar store has any good sauces that are oil free, then I would definitely choose one of those. But I'm just adding some soy sauce and some sriracha on top of mine and then giving it a mix. And the rice is still warm, so the peas kind of wilted down a bit in the rice, and it was just really delicious. You could probably do this with whatever veggies you can find at your dollar store. Really, any veggies with rice is going to fill up your belly, and it's going to be a very low cost meal. And again, if you are a student and you are on a budget and you really want to pay off your debts, meals like this are really easy. You're still getting your veggies in, and rice is going to keep you really full for a long time. And I feel like this is a really tasty meal as well. I feel like having a quick meal like this would be really good to meal prep as well. If you are going into work like I am at the hospital, it's something quick and easy that you can eat on your break. And if you're working from home, you really don't have time to cook up anything fussy because your breaks are pretty short and you're at home and you're homeschooling kids. If you've got kids, it's been crazy. So I suggest making something like this, pop it in a container, keep it in the fridge, and that way when you're on break, you can quickly grab it. This would be a much healthier option than getting takeout, so I suggest, yeah, just pop it into the fridge and that way you've got it already on hand and ready to go. Okay, so now we're off to another super easy recipe. When I want something that's going to be hearty and keep me full for a very long time, I really like this. This is like as simple can get. Chestnut rice. And I just add garlic powder, I add a little bit of my Himalayan pink salt and paprika. That's the only seasonings I add. You can add whatever you prefer to customize your dish, but this is how simple it is. Just chop up your chestnuts. So I love these chestnuts from the dollar store because they're organic, they're already peeled for you, and they're just ready to go, and they taste so good. So it's $1 for this pack. I'm using 2 because I like a lot of chestnuts in my rice, and I'm using, again, that leftover rice that I had because those bags were like endless. I made so many meals with all that rice. I'm just throwing in my seasonings. I've already cooked up the rice, and then I'm just going to toss in the chestnuts. That's it. If you are short on ingredients or you are really on a tight budget, by having these dollar store items, having simple rice at home, having chestnuts at home, this is going to bulk up your meal and you're going to feel so good after eating this. If you can and you have it available, I always say add more veggies. Add whatever veggies you have on hand. I don't care if it's canned veggies, I don't care if it's frozen veggies. If it's fresh, then that's fantastic too, but add more veggies to your diet if you can. And if not, at least this is a meal that's going to keep your belly full, and it's super simple, and really it cost $1 for the chestnuts. And again, like I said, that pack of rice was $2 and I made endless meals with that pack of rice. So I've also done this dish, instead of using paprika, I've added like a herb and garlic seasoning, and that worked out really well. So, just play with the different combinations of spices and herbs that you have, and you can really make this dish fantastic. So I think I did pretty good with, keeping to the 2 items per meal, and that's all you need. And again, like I said, we have the extra things like broth or seasonings already on hand at home, so we're using that up. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope that some of these meals inspired you to go visit your local dollar store and see what you can come up with and create some cheap and easy meals yourself at home.